Mr. Speaker, I offer the following resolution, waive its reading, and move for its immediate adoption, and request a couple minutes to explain the resolution.
Proceed, Mr. John.
You know, Mr. Speaker, I'm in my 5th year here, and I can tell you that over the 4 years previous to this, we talk a lot about equality in this body. We've talked about women's equality, we've talked about gender equality, pay equality, but for some reason we've overlooked an obvious thing that we should be looking at, which is legislative equality. The resolution that I'm pushing for is legislative equality, which will allow every member of this body, whether you be a Republican or Democrat, whether you be a minority or majority member, to bring one piece of substantial statewide legislation to the floor for an up or down vote. I've heard plenty of my colleagues go on radio and talk shows around this state talking about how hard it is to bring a piece of legislation to the floor. Unfortunately, a lot of legislation never gets out of committee. This would allow the opportunity for every member of this body to bring one piece of statewide legislation to the floor for a debate, a discussion, and an up or down vote. And this does not mean that every bill that we take out of the committee has to be voted up. You can bring a bill out of committee if it's your choice, your signature piece of legislation, even if it's voted down in a committee 2-1, and bring this one piece of legislation to the floor for an up or down vote once every 2 years. You can't ask for less than that. You know, Mr. Speaker, I think one thing that my colleagues maybe don't understand is that in the New York State Assembly, we author more legislation than the House of Representatives in Washington. The House of Representatives in Washington has 435 members representing 50 states. They author less than half the legislation that we do. So to be able to get a bill to the floor should not be a complicated maneuver. It should be something that we can bring up, as some of my colleagues have talked about, term limits, getting rid of gerrymandered districts, a 2-year budget cycle so we can actually save hundreds of millions of dollars, and everybody will know what's going to be coming for nonprofits and school districts 2 years in advance. There's a lot of legislation that could be considered real reform, but unfortunately, of all the legislation that we author, we only vote on 10% of it. Are we saying that 90% of the bills that we author have no merit at all? So this would underscore the idea that we believe in equality here. And when we pass the women's equality agenda or any other bill, we can point to the Senate, and all 150 members here should say, you know what, the Senate needs to bring it up as well. We are the body that is closest to the people. From the Speaker on down, everybody says we are the chamber that's the closest to the people. The people want term limits and other real reform. There's no reason why we shouldn't be bringing these up for a debate and a discussion and an up or down vote. And once every 2 years is not too much to ask. I would encourage all my colleagues to vote yes on this resolution. Thank you.